Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Queen's Corner. I am your good girlfriend, Shanelle Sara'Nita, and I am so happy to be here. It's been some time. I have been, of course, working on myself, and I know you guys probably saying, girl, you got to get more consistent. I'm trying to get more consistent. It's real out here. It is queening out here, okay? It is absolutely queening out here. It's a lot going on um, between mothering and work and building this new venture, and which is a part of my podcast. And so many things are happening, and it's real. Queening ain't easy, honey. Queening ain't easy, okay? So, just to give you guys a little brush up on where I've been, April 10th was my birthday, and I had a great time. I decided to spend my birthday taking care of myself. I went to a resort and took care of myself and just tried. And then, okay, so I tried to relax and get into my own space, right? What I've noticed and learned about me lately, I have gotten so caught up in going, that the time for myself has been non-existent. The time for creating has been non-existent, which I cannot breathe without creating. I cannot breathe without making money. I need to make money. I need to create. But in the midst of making money, creating is how I make money. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a creative. And if I'm just working and doing something regular, I'm not happy with that. Of course I do what I have to do, but at the same time, if I can be honest, I'm doing, you do what you got to do to get where you're trying to get to, right? So yeah, it's been a thing. Me just going and moving a lot, moving around a lot, and for my birthday, I said I wanted to settle in, and even in those moments, I feel like I still did not settle in. I was still like, oh, I need to read a book while I'm here. Oh, I need to go and work on the podcast and what's going to be next. Oh, the book. Yeah, I got to work on that. Which, let me go ahead and announce, because I'm really, really excited. And it was actually supposed to drop on my birthday, but it didn't. My book. Okay, so if you don't know, now you know. Oh, so now you think you're grown is out now, and I'm so excited about it. It is my third book, but my very first book on personal development. And this book is geared for all women, but specifically for young women going into womanhood. So when I first wrote the book, I dedicated it to the ages of like 15 into 25. And I know that's a large, wide range, but I promise you, 30, 40, like anybody can read this book. Of course, again, I specifically, when I wrote the book, it was all about making sure that young women were getting what they need out of the big sister. I call myself a big sister. I am a big sister. So when I wrote the book, I wrote it as your big sister in a book. Also Now You Think You're Grown is a self-enhancement book, and it's for young women who are going on their journey of womanhood, and learning like the ins and outs, the things that we wish that we knew. I promise you, I put it all in my book. Every single thing that I could possibly think of, all of my own personal experiences. And that was important to me because I'm always like talking to my daughters, and I've always like grown up talking to my cousins and about life and how we go about getting through it as women, as adults, just being a good human being. How do we do that? And although I had some that were on the right path and that could actually speak to me about life, I had a lot of people around me that honestly I couldn't really look up to because they didn't have what I wanted. And I would, listen to them and talk to them about like the struggles of life as well and things like that. And to be honest, they dropped some good gems in those spaces of things to look to not do. And so I tried to do a little bit of both. I did not want to come from a space of like being a guru because I'm not. I am your good girlfriend. I'm your homegirl, your big sister, whatever that is for you. That's who I am. And I'm just using what I have to give back. And that's what I did for this book. So I talk about budgeting your money. I talk about what happens after high school. I even talk about what happens going into high school and trying to figure out who you are and where you are landing in this place called high school. I call it the concrete jungle because to me, that's what it is. If you ever seen Mean Girls, right? Mean Girls, in a way, had it down pat, right? And so I call it the concrete jungle because that's what it felt like. I felt like I was going into my own habitat, into my own world, into my own ecosystem when I walked into school. It's a whole nother world. And in some ways, our young women, young men too, but they're not ready for that experience. They think they're ready until they get there. And so I wanted to break that down, what that looked like, friendships and clicking up, and how to navigate through all of that, how to navigate through figuring out who you are as a person. What do you really want? Are you doing what you're doing because your friends are doing it, or are you doing it because this is what you want to do? I definitely talked about all of my own experiences and following the leader or trying to be popular or, coming into high school with a certain aura. I talk about what happened to me after high school and the challenges that I had, as well as the directions I navigated and decided to, the direction that I took. I talk about everything. I talk about everything. And and it's for every young girl. It's for, I wasn't a teen mom, but I wanted to dedicate a part of that to teen moms. And no, I'm not glorifying it at all. But I think that, you know, there are teen moms out here, and a lot of the times they are not, there is no focus on them as if they can't change their lives or they can't do well after having a child. And there are some that I know a lot of women that are doing amazing after they've had children as teenagers. And again, I'm not glorifying it, but I don't want to leave them out. I want them to know as well, like sis, you can push through this. You can still be who you're supposed to be. You are not going to make your baby your crutch. You are not going to make your baby your excuse. You are not going to make your baby feel like they are the reason that things didn't go well in your life. So I wanted to discuss all of those things. I talk about budgeting your money. I talk about going into society, how to balance work and life, how to make margaritas out of lemonade, honey. Like, how do you do it? I wanted to talk about everything. And so I'm excited about this book. It is available on Amazon for $19.99. I promise you, you are going to enjoy this book. There are worksheets in there, parts of the book where you can write down your thoughts. You can ask yourself a few questions that you may never thought about asking yourself. I had a focus group before this book dropped, which even reading it, you're gonna be like, if you've been listening to me or watching my podcast, you're gonna be like, oh Shanelle, this you definitely passed all of this stuff, like in my acknowledgments. So it's been a minute. The book has been written and actually done and was already ready for publishing going on 3 years ago. But life took some changes, some turns and twists and turns, and I pivoted a little bit, and now I'm back at it. So you'll read some things and say, "Oh, this is a long time ago." Even my acknowledgments to my daughter. My daughters, like they were young babies, and now Chloe Ray just turned 13 a few days ago. I got a teenager, y'all. It's crazy. But again, I had a focus group, and my focus group consists of women in their teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. And what got me mostly, like the younger girls enjoyed the book. I love that I love the feedback that I got from them and how it made them really think about, what they wanted to do during their career, their high school career, as well as how to get started for their life after high school, and how they needed this direction. I mean, I have I'm gonna post them, some of the things that was said about the book. So I'm excited about that. But the older people, they really, wow, I was just like, wow. A lot of them said they never asked themselves these questions, and that this book is needed, and they needed to have asked themselves these questions, and how some of them got stuck asking themselves those questions. And I was so happy to hear that, because it was thought provoking, and that's what I am. I'm an inspiring conversationalist. I'm a thought provoker. I want you to think about who you are. I want you to think about where you're going. I overthink every single thing. So it's not that I want to make people overthink, but I want you to really think about where you're going in your life, and if you are who you think you are. And sometimes we really got to take inventory on that. So that's basically, oh, so now you think you grown. I even touched the fact that, at 18, we think we're grown. Girl, no, you are not, girl. No, you are not. If you have a daughter, a niece, just put them on for this part. Girl, you are not grown. I just figured it out. Like, now I'm a grown ass woman. You can't tell me nothing different. But I'm telling you, back when I was 18 and I thought I had it all together, girl, and I thought I had it all together. I mean, I moved out, had a full-time job during college. While I was in college, had my own townhouse, new car, puppy had his own room. Like, I was living, okay? But for real, a lot comes with that. So, thank you guys. I want you to check out the book, and I hope that you really enjoy it. Again, it's available on Amazon. So get it for your good girlfriend, or your good girlfriend's daughter, or whoever is in your life that can use it. So back to why we are here. I have been, again, I get very distracted, right? And what I am learning now is that the distractions come my way when something big is coming my way. And I've also learned that I have to train myself for my distractions. And so that is what I want to talk about today. How do we train ourselves to rid our distractions? How do we train ourselves to put our life together the way that we want it to be? We are the alchemists of our lives, right? And sometimes we get so caught up in trying to figure out, you know, which way to go, instead of really focusing in on what was the plan from the jump, right? So you have a plan. You know what you want your life to look like. It doesn't matter how many distractions come your way. You still got to maneuver through those distractions to get to the plan, because that's what's important. That's why we're here. I woke up the other day and I was like, God, why am I here? Why am I here? I'm just working. I'm going to be real with y'all. I'm going to be so real with y'all right now. These last few months have been, oh my God, just tiring. Very much so tiring. I decided that I was definitely going to put more focus on the career and the dream and my dreams, and um, you know, auditioning more, getting back into producing, and working on my podcast and all of these things and other endeavors. But I also want to make sure that I have a stable ground for me and my daughters. So you guys know I've been a hairstylist for a very long time. And I put it to the side because I came to LA and um, I honestly don't have time. Like, I don't have time to build a clientele. That's my truth. I didn't come here to do hair. So unless I'm working on set and doing hair, I just didn't have time to just build a clientele. So I would be in and out of the salon and the extra money would be cool. But I realized that I needed something stable. And I needed something stable because it is hard to figure out your next move without stability. It's hard to look at your bank accounts or look at your budget and say, okay, this is what we're working with without stability. It's hard to make plans without stability. And because I'm in a whole new season of my life and I have, again, you guys know I'm now a single mom of two girls, and I realized that like I'm just moving. Like my body, even now, like my body is moving, my mind is moving, but my spirit is saying, stop, stop. But I feel like I can't stop because if I stop, what's going to happen? What's going to get done? But at the same time, my spirit is telling me to stop because I'm not taking a moment to just figure out what's happening next, to just figure out like, or focus on what I came here to do, right? So I decided that I would go and get a regular job. I did. Um, and I do like what I do. I do. I do like what I do. And I see that I can grow in this space. What was very important to me is growing in this space. What's important to me is the plans that I have for this space. So, but I knew something that I wouldn't allow myself to receive at a younger age is that in order for me to get to where I'm trying to go, I have to actually like stop and get some stuff completed. And I have to stop thinking that, oh, I'm a creative. I can't have a regular job. Or I can't do this. Well, right now I have to. Right now I have to do this because that's the only way I'm going to get to the next step. Everything I had and that I was moving towards, I lost. And that's just truth. And even if it was meant to happen, it's just what it is. I lost it. I lost what I was moving towards. I lost that I was moving towards a happy marriage of a family of four. I was moving towards relationship goals. I was moving towards uh, power couple, business partners. I was moving towards all of my own expectations and aspirations for myself. And then so many things took place that moved me out of that space. And so now it's like, okay, great things are happening here. I'm still in production. I am still making good money. I am now doing better. I am a little bit more stable. So now it's just up. Now it's just making sure that everything is solid. And it's been taking time being here in LA and making everything solid. You know what I mean? Building the foundation so that I can continue to prosper forward. And now that I've gotten into this place, I want to keep it going because I know what's next. I know what's next in my life. And I just want to get to that place. So I say all of that to say, like, you can have a plan for your life, You can have everything set up the way that you want it. But if you allow the distractions of life to take over you, to take over your everyday, because that's what it does, you're not going to get to where you're trying to go. And I had to really stop and think, like, Shanelle, wait a minute, you're being a hamster on a wheel. And this hamster on a wheel is not getting you to what's next. You're going around in circles, and then everything is on the outside of the wheel. Everything that you need is out there. Everything. Instead, you're going around on this wheel and you're not inputting what you need. So if there is a direction that you're trying to go in, let's start with figuring out, what do you need to do first? Is home organized? Is your home, because that has to be right. Is home organized? Is there a schedule for the children? That's where I'm at right now. These little girls got to get back on the schedule. Is there a schedule for the children? Because at some point, when is there time for you and there's time to create? I need, it's a woosah moment, y'all. I need work time, Chanel time, creating time, spiritual time, health and wellness time, children time, friends time. All of these different moments that we need just to stay balanced. Can we do this? We can do it, but we're not going to be perfect at it. We have to figure out what works for us, what works for you. So the craziest thing just happened. I was filming for almost 15 minutes straight and my mic wasn't on. Isn't that nuts? That's crazy. But anyway, that's okay. I'm going to take up this little bit of time. I had to pivot a little bit because while I was talking to you guys, I heard God speak to me. And he said, what I want you to talk about is embracing and breaking through to the new you. So for some of us, that is really, really difficult because, we are trying to just stay on path of where we are right now. We're trying to, let life happen the best way that we can. And you get stuck on this hamster wheel, like I said before, of trying to just keep life going, right? We do that. And we forget about our own evolution. We forget about evolving. We forget about what's next for us. And sometimes we fall off the path. Like you had a plan, right? But you fall off of it. I have in my past and in my present, I meditate on who I want to be. And I'll see her. Like I'll turn on my meditation music and I'll meditate into the woman that I am evolving into and who I am desiring to become. And that is what helps me, right? To focus on the path and the becoming her, becoming who I had planned to become. And I was sitting here like, what are some strategies that I can talk to these women about when it comes down to becoming the new you? Because we have to, which is something that I've learned over time, how nature, not just nature, yes, nature, how in the natural realm of life, God has set things up for us to evolve and change, right? Think about it. The snake. The snake sheds their skin to grow. A seed is planted into the ground, into the dark, thrown with dirt thrown on top of it, and it grows into a beautiful plant, a beautiful tree, a beautiful flower, a beautiful piece of fruit. right? Um, a butterfly, which is my favorite analogy, is the butterfly effect. A butterfly goes from becoming a caterpillar to a cocoon, to going into a cocoon and becoming beautiful, having beautiful wings, and then they fly away. And when they fly away, they discover, they see new things, right? The same with a bird, right? A bird is born into an egg, and when they come out, they blossom. Their mother kicks them out of the nest, and then they evolve and they grow, and then they see the world and discover new things, right? So it's the same for us, and I think that we forget that. We forget that we are all caterpillars, that we are all starting by crawling, and we go into this cocoon. And I know for me, I am I can now say I am a butterfly girl. I am a butterfly out here. And it took some time for me to say that because I was in a cocoon for a very long time, preparing, growing, trying to figure things out. Who am I? And you know what's crazy? I went back into my cocoon. I went back into my cocoon. I kind of think, I think that, I think that I go through a cocoon phase often, probably once a year for sure. But for me, every single time there's a transition in my life, I go into a cocoon, and then I reblossom and rebuild and evolve in some kind of way, right? Um, so just to break that down, the cocoon, the butterfly effect, it is you taking that time, like when you're a caterpillar, you're wandering around, don't know really where you're going, you don't really know what you're waiting for, you don't really know what's supposed to take place. You're just kind of going with the wind, right? And then you get into your cocoon. And while you're in your cocoon, you prepare. So whenever I'm in my cocoon, I'm reading, I'm praying, I'm meditating, I'm figuring life out, I'm trying to understand which way I'm going, who am I becoming, what is it that I want. And usually in my cocoon phase, I'm in deep prayer for me to have guidance on what's next. Because I know I can get crazy. I can get crazy and rowdy in my head like, Chanel, what are you doing, girl? What is this? Do you know where you are? I am in the wilderness right now. What are you doing in the wilderness, girl? Figure it out. So that's usually my cocoon. I'm in the wilderness. No, I am in the wilderness when I am a caterpillar, but then when I get in that cocoon, I'm like, okay, it's time for preparation. So my strategy has been to write. I got a journal years ago. I was working as a security guard when I first moved to Atlanta. I had just had my daughter and I was building a clientele at the salon. And I was like, okay, what am I doing? I'm at this job because I was literally trying to think life through, and I felt like it was doing so much movement and I just needed something quiet, right? And I bought a journal because I like to write, but I didn't know I didn't like where I was. I didn't like who I was. I didn't like who I was becoming. And I wanted to figure who that was, out who I wanted to be. So I wrote down in my journal everything that I did not like about myself. I wrote down all of my hobbies. I wrote down who I wanted to become. I wrote down all of my goals through life. I wrote down all of these things. And I kept writing until I could not write anymore. And along with me writing those things, let's start with who I didn't like, what I didn't like about myself. There were things like my image. I didn't like my wardrobe anymore. I wanted to rebuild my wardrobe. Um, and so I wrote down the things that I wanted in my wardrobe. What did I see myself in? I love wearing, I'm still like a t-shirt, jeans, and a sexy pair of heels girl. But I started wearing more blazers back then. So I started to buy more blazers. Um, what else? I bought more blazers. I bought more sneakers because I really like heels, but I needed sneakers because I would wear my heels everywhere. So I started buying more sneakers. Even now, I'm like, oh, Chanel, it's time for a sneaker. Like, you need to buy some sneakers. My homeboy told me that my sneaker collection is trash. So I started purchasing more sneakers. So I wrote down like different things. I wrote down things like, uh, I wanted to step out a little bit more. I wanted to glow a little bit more. What did that look like for me? Me working out every day or working out a few times a week and taking care of myself because I was again giving myself to everybody else but me. So I want to start working out again. I wanted to network better because I felt like I was definitely not a socialite. I was more of a introverted extrovert. I still am, but I'm way more sociable than I was before. I was nervous about getting out and meeting new people. But now I get out. I wrote down, I'm going to go out to more events. I am going to introduce myself. I am going to be more, uh, what is the word? More what people can, damn, I can't remember the word right now, but I wanted people to, I wanted to meet new people, right? Um, I wanted to be more sociable. I said that. I wanted, I can't even get the word out. I wanted people to, approachable. There it is, approachable. I wanted to be more approachable. And I know that I have a resting bitch face. If y'all have never seen it, that's it. And it was not approachable. And I know because I'm from a city where a lot of women are not approachable, in Baltimore. We can be very hard up, don't talk to me, whatever. And so I started to smile more. I would walk in and introduce myself. I would turn Shanelle Sara'Nita on. Hey, I'm Shanelle Sara'Nita. It's nice to meet you. Instead of Nelly was like, hi, what's up? So I learned to be more approachable and I started to meet new people. Even now, like I really work on being more approachable because I can fall back into being introverted and not wanting to be bothered with people, but that's very seldom now. A lot of times I'm feeding off of energy too. Like, this person really want to be bothered or no? What is it? You know what I mean? Um, but yes, I wrote down things about myself that I really, really wanted to work on. And that helped me a lot because it was like my strategy book to go back and look at my solutions. Okay, this is the problem that I'm having, but this is what I want to fix. Even in my relationship, I realized that no, we couldn't talk. And even though things aren't right and together now, um, I did do my best at making the changes that I needed to make the best that I could just so things could be better. So I, writing that journal and putting that together, it helped me a great bit. Um, I also feel like, when we are in our cocoon, we are learning so many things about ourselves. And learning about yourself builds confidence because you become, you know who you are. And once you're in a space where you know who you are in this season, because who you are, of course, in your season before, you're not who you are now. My mother will always say, like, turn the page now, turn the page. That means starting something new, becoming somebody new. And that's what we're here to do, right? We are here to change and evolve. And you don't have to be stuck in who you were before. Well, that's just how I am. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to be that person. You can actually change and become exactly who you want to be. So do that. Make that change in your life and be exactly who you have set out to become. Um, you have to set clear intentions. And one thing that I know can be difficult is becoming disciplined. when you are setting out to become somebody new, you had to get disciplined. You had to. And I'm saying that because I'm also talking to myself. I can discipline myself in some areas. In some areas, it can be really tough. But we have to. Because the more disciplined you are, the better of a person you will become. So, for instance, if you say, I want to become a better businesswoman, right? Well, where does your discipline lie? Are you reading more? Are you educating yourself? How are you feeling in the morning? Like business people in business, they take care of their bodies and their minds first. They take care of their spiritual space first, and then they focus on business. They rid the distractions. I get it, girl. I get it. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to get to rid the distractions. But if we can discipline our distractions, we can move on to where we're trying to be, right? So once you figure out what your intentions, where you're trying to go, then you'll have a better roadmap. And that is going to start with discipline. So for me, right now, um, I am putting my what I want back together, who I want to be back together. I know I want to be a woman in media. I know that I want to be a woman in business. I know that I want to get back to producing my stage plays. I know that I'm a multi hyphenate. I know that I am an author. I am a great mom. I know that I want to be in love again. I want to be married again. I want to do so many things that I want to do. So what's where it starts for me is organizing my lifestyle. And organizing my lifestyle is like literally setting my life up the way that it needs to be set up. I have daughters that are growing up, they're getting older. Chloe Ray is 13 now. I have all of these different changes that are happening. And I didn't even realize that I would have to pivot the way that I have to pivot now because everything in life is changing. And the only way that I'm going to stay ahead of the game is to pivot with it. So with that is it's okay, I have to change my laundry days now, or I have to cook for the week again. I have to go back to doing things differently because before now, like I wasn't like right now I'm working. I work pretty much a full-time job. Then I have a full-time job at home. And then I have this. And then I have all these other things. So now my pivot is changing because my energy is changing. I'm more tired than what I used to be. And I have to make sure that I'm getting my workouts in so I can have more energy. I have to make sure that I am strategizing my week on a Sunday or on a Tuesday. I mean, on a Sunday or on a Saturday so that everything for that week is set up and I'm able to do this. I'm able to do what's mainly what I'm here for media, for my podcast, for my books, for the next step. So with the changes that you want to make in your life and the person that you want to be, it's gonna be a major, not necessarily a sacrifice, but a major adjustment. And you have to commit to the adjustment. You have to marry the adjustment. You have to be okay with being a caterpillar, becoming a cocoon, and getting your beautiful wings as a butterfly. And you know what's crazy about becoming a butterfly? Butterflies don't see how beautiful their wings are. They can't see their wings. They don't know. They don't know how bright they are and the beautiful colors and the beautiful designs. And isn't that so much like us? Like not knowing how beautiful you are or not knowing how intelligent you are or the possibilities that you have over your life. Like we don't see our potential. Everybody else can see it but us. Even our enemies can see it. So while you are focusing on becoming the new you, just be aware that even in the moment where you are right now, you still are beautiful. You still are pushing through. You still are becoming all that you have been set out to become. And even when it's hard and it's crazy and the distractions are kicking your ass, just know that you got it, girl. And the new you is right there in front of you. All you got to do is grab her. So my time is up. I had so many crazy things going on. So I hate that I'm cutting it short. I hope that you guys got something out of it and look forward to all the new things that are coming. Oh, again, do not forget about my book. Oh, so now you think you're grown. Again, it is available on Amazon. I am sure that you will love it. I am sure that the young girl in your life or the 25-year-old in your life who's looking to figure out what's new, what's the next step, what am I doing, who may need some type of blueprint, please check the book out. Pass it on to your good girlfriend or your good girlfriend's daughter or your niece or your whoever is in your life that may need this book. Please check it out. And also, there are some more changes that will be made very soon. I am changing the name to the Queen's Corner. I am pivoting. I am growing. Of course, we are still healing, but there's so many other things that I want to talk about, and I want to liven it up a little bit. So there is a new name coming. I'm not going to reveal it yet because after I am done with branding, you guys will know what's up. So I thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Queen's Corner. I am your good girlfriend, Shanelle Sara'Nita. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you all soon. Love you, girl. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to another fire episode of the Queen's Corner. Please like, subscribe, and share with another queen. Love you, girl.